Hi, my name is Ryan Cox. My presentation today will be on how Chinese business works, an integral part of American business. This is prepared for Anita Williams by Ryan Cox. Here is my visual aid. It may be a little hard to see, but I will attach it along with the video. So Chinese global business is a big part of the entire world. If you're a business planning to go global and put down roots in other countries, you're most likely going to have to deal with China, just because they have a lot of money and a lot of people, and that means power. So here is a introduction slide. There's a couple of facts on there just to show how strong and powerful China is. Most important thing before going into business with China is to do your homework and be prepared to deal with the cultural differences in relationships, their differences in social norms, and the differences in communication. First off, relationships are possibly the most important thing for the Chinese culture. They place a lot of emphasis on trust and honesty in the relationships, and they will expect that from you, and they will also be expected to give that to you. So that's basically their foundation for a relationship in business and out of business. One example of that is in contracts in China. Whenever a situation changes, they will typically expect the terms to change as well, and that is just part of the trust that they place in their relationships. Political relationships are another important thing in China. Excuse me. The local political ties are the most important in China, as if you have the right political ties locally, they will help small businesses typically with longevity and staying afloat by not going bankrupt or going under for some other reason. Big businesses usually aren't helped much by political ties, and political ties on the national level typically aren't very much help for any type of business. Everyone usually will know about the emphasis the Chinese place on education. Everyone in China typically has a strong emphasis on their children getting the right education, a strong education. And so that will play a big part in businesses, just knowing where people typically come from as far as an education background and what they are expected from. So that is my social norms slide. And so religion is also a big part of business in China, as Buddhism is their most prevalent religion there. And there was a study that found out that businesses in China that had Buddhist beliefs typically were most affected by management decisions. So that other than management decisions, Buddhism did not have much effect on the businesses. Management decisions also, if you have good management decisions, that will usually result in good financial statements. So it was found that Buddhist companies also had better financial statements on average than non-Buddhist companies. Now, that's not to say that non-Buddhist companies will not be a good business or be a good partner in a relationship, but that typically Buddhist businesses will be better off. Communication is possibly the biggest part of Chinese culture, just because without communication you can't have a relationship. You can't know about those social norms or anything about that. It's important to know the culture around the person you have a relationship, as that will help you communicate with them verbally better and understand what's going on with them. Also, China is a high context culture, so that means that they use a lot of nonverbal communication to communicate with others and kind of interpret messages. So they try to save face a lot with their employees or partners. Don't try to embarrass them, at all, and they typically try to avoid saying no and have a less direct approach at communicating in business and out of business. So here is my conclusion slide. And so basically, if you're going to go in business with China, be prepared, do your homework, because in some sort of way, whether it's in production and transportation or even selling your product, you are most likely going to have to deal with China. And the culture there is just completely different from the United States. But if you do your homework and are prepared for the differences, then that will give you a big edge over other businesses that do not do their homework and are not prepared. Thank you.